cabin crew will show.
Well, thank you and a very good morning.
In this door, you access the security man, and to the left, the elevator.
Kilometers. Left 2 lanes to take the exit towards MA20, Almeria.
Do you want one too?